NewGenGamers.com.
Welcome everybody to another New Gen Gamers Console Wars of the Past. Here we are taking a look at the TurboGrafx 16 from NEC. And see here we have the TurboGrafx 16 system. This is the base model. No add-ons, unfortunately. Right in front here we have our power button. It's kind of a click. You have a little thing that pops out. Here we have where the controller goes in. It's your one controller port. For any additional, you need a turbo tap.
Yep.
On this side here, we have nothing. On the back here is your expansion port for the CD-ROM.
That's where your
TurboGrafx CD would go. On the side here, this is where your AC adapter goes in, right here.
And then you have your
RF port
and your
channel selection switch.
Now the cool thing about this is if you're like new to gaming, which you know pretty much in the 90s everybody was, at least if you're an adult, they had what went where, pad, power,
yeah,
and stuff like that.
It had a nice. Now, one of the unique things about this console is the games and how they load. See, it's a credit card style game. It's a Hue card. Hue card.
Yeah.
That's what I thought it was. Or turbo chip, as they call it in America.
Right.
And then what we do here is we insert it right here, pop it in, and you have the little click.
Yep.
And then your game
The little nub that shoots out is to keep the game in there in case anybody would, like, your 3-year-old would come along and rip out the game. That doesn't happen.
Yeah, it's bad.
So when you bought
A newer game,
the games, they came in these,
jewel type cases.
and open it up.
I'll see, it had a kind of unique
Case
case. Let's see, this one has this little plastic,
thing to keep the game in there.
and then you had your book.
Which they were pretty thick in the day, you know.
We're gonna open that up. See, there gives you controls. Tells you how to put the game in. Explains how to play the game.
You can't open Keith's Courage.
Gives you alien characters. Oh, let me.
Oh, the back of the cases usually didn't really have anything on them. At least, yeah.
Yeah, none of the ones that we have did, and I don't think any of them actually did. Now, you'll find a difference here in the Keith Courage one.
Has a little case.
This one has a plastic insert, which I'm guessing that little sticky part eventually came off, but this has been pretty well taken care of.
Right.
Even for as old as it is.
Does Paragraph have a different setup?
No, it's got the one like Dungeon Explorer.
One like, yeah. So, here's the controller.
Now, you've got your standard D-pad. You've got 8 directions, though. It's more like, more kind of like a Sega pad.
Yeah.
Here you have your select and run buttons, which
is select and start.
Right, and then you have 2 and 1.
And then you have your turbo switches.
The turbo switches. This is the most unique part of the controller.
It was kind of like the Sega turbo.
Yeah, but
controller.
Obviously they were the first to do it.
Yeah, they were obviously.
Obviously the first to do it.
And all you do is press them up, and then there's
regular speed, a little bit faster,
and then
turbo.
Ludicrous.
Ludicrous speed.
Yeah. And
plaid.
Here is the controller connection. Kind of looks like an old school keyboard.
Kinda, yes.
So,
it goes with the big pins.
Yeah, and it has an arrow that says, "Hey, put this end in me."
Yeah, and sometimes it's really hard to kind of line this up blind.
Yeah.
Like you end up catching on stuff, but you'll know when you got it in there because it just kind of goes in.
It kind of clicks.
Yeah, it clicks. Everything on this console will kind of click.
And this uses a, what kind of power supply?
It takes a power adapter. It's a two-ended power supply. It's not just a single brick with. Let me get it out of here. Okay, here we go. It's actually an official NEC TurboGrafx 16 one. Yeah, we wrote all over it.
Yeah. But it's just your standard little.
Yeah, we have the power supply
plug-in.
And the regular plug-in.
Yeah, and then.
You'll see how it attaches here.
Yep, it's welded in there.
Yeah, this thing's going to be pretty sturdy as far as power adapters go.
And what about your connections to the TV? What kind of connections does that take?
The connection is an RF connection. So, as you know, the little cable line.
Right. So it's
because you had to buy an additional turbo booster.
Right.
A turbo booster would have cost you about $40 back in the day. Nowadays they cost you about $400. Things have definitely gone up in value as far as the TurboGrafx market goes.
So some of the games that we have here, we have Bonk's Adventure, Splatterhouse. We have Keith Courage, which was a packing game.
Yeah,
and then
that'll be the first game we play, so you'll see that one rather
up there
soon.
we have Bonk's Revenge, which we showed you guys on the Facebook page. And Galaga, R-Type, Bloody Wolf.
Ninja Spirit,
and
if you like to call it Shinobi.
Dear Lord.
Spoiler alert.
And then Pac-Land.
Pac-Land. We'll be playing all of these. We're going to play all of these Turbo Trip games.
And then there's a couple of games.
And then we supplement a few games from the Virtual Console.
Yes.
But it never hurts to have more games.
Right.
So, how about we fire this thing up and take a look at this library?
All right, I'm game.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and children of all ages, NewGenGamers is proud to present to you another glorious console wars of the past. Ray, what glorious system are we taking a look at?
We are taking a look at the NEC TurboGrafx 16.
Brought to us on August 29th, 1989. Our first game that we're going to be taking a look at is Keith Courage and Alpha Zones.
This was the initial pack-in with the TurboGrafx 16 here in the US.
In Japan and other places in the world, it was known as the PC Engine.
PC Engine, yes.
This is one of the first totally portable, or the smallest portable game console.
We'll get to that later.
Yeah. But there's a lot of firsts about the system.
Yeah. Now this was a launch system. It
was the first 16-bit era.
Yes.
Of the 16-bit era. It was the first CD-ROM console.
Yes.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. First one with a CD add-on.
Yeah. It had built-in turbo buttons.
Yes, which are very, very useful, by the way. You'll see them utilized here later on here.
First, controller multi-tap.
Yes.
You can add up to 5 controllers to this game if you get the little thing that goes on the controller port.
Yeah. It was called a Turbo Tap. Oh,
Turbo.
Everything about this system is going to be called Turbo.
There's the Turbo Duo. There's the.
Well, what I have right in now, this is a Turbo chip.
Yeah.
The game is called a Turbo chip.
No, it's a HUD chip.
No, it's a Hue card in Japan. In America, they called it a Turbo chip.
Oh, yeah.
It's Turbo everything.
Yeah.
Rainbow Land!
Yay!
And now we Mighty Morphin Power Ranger.
I think it's Captain Planet.
Keith Courage was an odd choice for a pack-in game. Just kind of.
I mean, it's odd looking, and then it kind of operates like Mega Man, but more forgiving.
Sort of.
That's my take on it. I mean, like you have these weird looking enemies, right?
Well, it kind of reminds me of the Master System's choice of Alex Kidd.
Yeah.
It had it's a decent platformer. It just doesn't.
There's no excitement to it.
There's not enough. Well,
Okay, well, maybe if you saw that big, huge revolver thing coming at you, you know. The one thing that
I'm
bothers
just
me
gonna
about
call
this
him
game
Ocelot.
is, huh?
I'm just gonna call him Ocelot.
The one thing
I
that
don't know what his
bothers
actual
me about
name is.
this game is the enemy regeneration.
Oh, they'll just keep spawning. Yeah.
Yeah. They spawn and spawn and spawn until they can't spawn.
Well, that was very common in this area or in this era,
Yeah.
because they wanted to just keep throwing enemies and enemies and enemies at
Sure,
you.
keep playing this, keep playing this, keep playing this, keep going. This also, like I said, was the first fully powered portable. Came with something called Turbo. Well, it didn't come with.
No, it sure as hell didn't come with it.
You could buy something called the Turbo Express, which is very, very expensive.
Yeah, like I said, we'll get more into the extra add-ons into it a little further in here. But
Okay, so another first that this was, it was first to market. In
yes,
Japan.
this is the first console released in the 16-bit era. Hence why you're going to be viewing this in Volume 3.
Right.
Now, initially, this was
set
thought up to compete with
the Famicom and the NES.
Right. But
Nintendo was smart and released it, the Super NES, when this came out.
well, see, they actually had quite a lead on them in Japan.
Right.
Because it released in 87 in Japan. So we're talking, they had a good 4 or 5 years before the SNES came out.
So why didn't the TurboGrafx
The TurboGrafx succeeded very well in Japan, actually.
Why didn't it take over? Why didn't it put Nintendo out of business?
Well, mainly because of their troubles in America.
True.
Because it sold so well in Japan, that is why they even brought it over.
Well, in Japan, almost took the Super Famicom down.
Yeah, I mean it was really.
Oh, now we're
back to normal. No more Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Jump again. It looks like he's skipping like the guy from Final Fantasy 15 when you're jumping, and it looks like he's skipping along.
Do we need healed? We don't need healed.
No, bitch, we don't got enough money. No hookers today.
Why does she keep charging us more? It was 200 in the last world. Reverse zone. Oh, that sounds fun.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Everything's on the ceiling.
What? Did we end up in Bizarro Land?
Okay.
How come we don't have... Or why aren't we floating upside down?
Okay, early disclaimer about this system.
Weirdo Land?
It's very Japanese.
Okay. So, let's get into the lore of the system. Okay. NEC built the machine, right? NEC stands for Nippon Electric Company.
Yes, they were a big PC maker back in the 80s.
Well, they've done more than that. They were peddling phones to the Chinese in 1904.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So, there's a lot of history with NEC, right?
Yeah,
NEC,
they were a well-established company.
You also might recognize them if you've ever been near a cash register. NCR is a division of NEC.
I did not know that.
Yeah. NEC cash registers. That's what that stands for.
Oh.
So, anyways.
Huh.
Okay. So, let's say you're a game developer, right? And you got awesome ideas, but nobody's buying them. What would you do?
Ataru! Himiko! しばらく先生、そして龍神丸。おなじみのキャラクターが展開するド迫力のバトル、ドアクダー軍団をぶっ飛ばす必殺の登竜拳。 PC エンジン用ソフトマシン英雄伝渡る絶賛発売中。
Enjoy Hudson.